So there's no questions about the wide receiver spot, huh? About our additions?
Yes.
You
So
don't know what I'm talking about, do you, Mark?
no, I don't. As soon as you
Well, okay.
give me the name,
Well,
we talked about Billy Kemp last week.
right. But no, this was just here. Okay. You remember a guy by the name of Isaiah Garcia-Castaneda who went into the transfer portal?
Oh yeah, he caught a touchdown. Well, not a touchdown, but he had a couple big catches against Northwestern to start the season.
Yeah, and he pulled out of the transfer portal, so he is still a Husker.
Okay.
Do you happen to remember a name of a guy named Zavier Betts?
Well, yes, we didn't talk about okay, we didn't talk about him last week. Okay. I actually produced a video about Xavier Betts, so he's coming back.
Well, he has also, yes, now rejoined the team. I don't think they've made it totally official yet, but he attended a team meeting here. I think on Sunday, Matt Rule had him come in, and obviously that was just to get his teammates' thoughts on him rejoining the team, because as you recall when we talked about when he left, that his teammates pretty much said they didn't want him back. But he has found another avenue to get back here. I guess he's checked all the boxes, and he is now going to be back here, which makes all of a sudden this wide receiver room on this roster one of the better rooms on the offense right now. So yeah, that's kind of big time news, because we were talking about, we had an event on Sunday morning. The Warren Academy showcase went on with Steve Warren, the former Nebraska defensive lineman and Green Bay Packer that runs the Warren Academy in Omaha now. So he had his showcase event on Sunday, and basically, I think while we were still doing the camp, it was pretty much made official that Zavier Betts was coming back.
Xavier Betts, of course, didn't play with Nebraska or anyone in 2022. Season before, 20 catches, 286 yards, about 15 yards per catch, and had 12 catches his first year as a freshman in 2020.
Also had some good yardage on runs too, and a touchdown.
Absolutely. All right, so two old names are back.
Both guys that can run. What does Matt Rule preach? He wants guys that are fast. And so you get, you bring back Zavier Betts, and you got incoming Malachi Coleman. You got a lot of things going on in this wide receiver room now. To go along with what you already have with like a Marcus Washington, and obviously now Isaiah Garcia-Castaneda coming back, and Avante Brown still there, and it's gonna be kind of cool to see here when spring ball starts up and see that speed. Plus like we talked about last week, Billy Kemp coming in, and you got a lot of guys, a lot of new faces that are going to be there. Some familiar old faces that weren't there, and going to be interesting, very interesting here when spring ball starts.
As you mentioned, that team meeting that Xavier Betts attended, and then Never Mind Me's making a comment about is the team going to accept Betts? Heard they weren't happy with him last year, and Greg went through that.
They weren't, not at all.
But some people are able to change their minds and be open-minded and say, okay, well, he admits to making mistakes, and we now are willing to turn the page and hope that things are different this time. And I got to think the leash isn't exactly that long, maybe, in regards to, what he's going to be allowed to get away with going forward. So he's going to have to show that he's willing to work and be on time and do all those things.
Okay, so I've known this young man for a long time, right? And we're talking about a former top 100 player in the country coming out of high school. And the one thing that he doesn't respond to is the tough love. And when he was at Nebraska and Mickey Joseph came in, what do you think he was getting? It was the tough love. And he didn't respond well to it. So he's had a little bit of time now to mature. And now he comes back into, basically, he's meeting new coaches that have a different coaching style. So we'll see, is there going to be a drastic change or is it going to be more of the same? I like to be optimistic about that and think that it's going to be a very positive change for him, and that he can regain being a part of the team and being a contributor as he was starting to do until things kind of went the way they did, and he left the program before last season started.
What's interesting when you mention it that way is that he didn't play last year. So the last football he played at Nebraska was in 21. Now he's going to play in 23. That doesn't seem like a big deal, but in college football, especially these days, more than half the roster is probably going to be different. He's going to play with a lot of guys that he knows and is familiar with, but he's going to play with a lot of other guys that
never met. Yeah.
He never met. And like you mentioned, the whole coaching staff, almost the entire coaching staff, different.
To him, the whole coaching staff is different.
Yeah. So, it's familiar in certain ways, same buildings, same people, in offices and on campus and that sort of thing. But other than that, it's almost a completely different team.
Well, the one factor, though, that you can't deny also is that ever since he knew what football was, he wanted to play at Nebraska. That's never changed. So, he's got two chances to do that now. Which, how many high school players out there that dream of that have never even gotten that opportunity? I'm one of them. So, yeah.